Yeah, we're gonna go over some stuff on emotions today, Julius. I think it's a good time to cover emotions. The markets have been extremely difficult the last few months, to be honest. So trading's like 80% psychological. The emotions that come up that every individual trader has to deal with themselves: fear, greed, FOMO, boredom, all of the above. Markets like this that are super choppy or kind of heavily manipulated, they literally just prey on these emotions. So it's important to talk about these things as a trader. You can understand how to read charts, how to do the technicalities of charts with, insane accuracy, and you can draw up all these plans and let them play out on paper trades and stuff. But the second you step your foot into the waters with your own real money and you're actually, there's real risk on the line, skin in the game, like everything changes and those emotions kick in. And, that's the journey of a trader. This is, everyone who's become successful in this game has had to go through it. They've blown accounts, they've been wrecked from every emotion out there and stuff. And so it's important to touch on this stuff. So that's what we're going to get into today. What's going on, guys? Good morning to everyone joining. Hicks, Vlad, Russ, Slayer Eyes, Taco. How we doing? Another minute or two, let people join up, and then I'll just run through the market kind of briefly. What's happened in the last week or two. We'll look at some Woodsbot indicator levels so you can kind of see where we are in the market, how we've reacted around certain levels, and then we're going to get into kind of the emotional side of trading today. And, this is definitely an open conversation when it comes to emotions. So, anyone who's willing to, share in the chats there as we go along about their personal experiences that we can talk about, this is kind of, everyone experiences emotions differently in the market. There are, set ways to deal with said emotions, and I'm going to show you guys ways you can deal with the emotions using kind of the tools and bots that we have in here as well. But, any questions you guys have on, how to deal with these things, how to overcome these things, your own personal experiences with these emotions and stuff, like, we'll keep this one super interactive as we go. Appreciate that, Hicks. I enjoy doing them with you guys. I enjoy talking about this stuff. The benefit of having a community, it's like trading by yourself, like learning this shit by yourself and trying to become a profitable trader and go through these emotions and all of this by yourself compared to in a community is like so insanely hard. It is just such a difficult game. It's one of the most extreme and difficult professions to become, proficient in and actually make a living, because it's one of the only professions that penalizes you if you don't do a good job. You can do kind of a shitty job at your 9 to 5 and still get by and still get paid, but like you do a bad job in this, you're gonna get beat the fuck down emotionally, like for your P&L, profitability, like all of it. So this is definitely one of the most difficult games, and crypto is one of the most difficult markets to become a trader in. So like you add that layer on top. All right, I am going to share my screen here. One sec. All right, you guys see my screen? Just let me know. Yeah, I'll run through that, Julius. There's a bunch of guys in here that are just verified without access, so I'll run through how to get access. Super easy. Everything is super clean. For those who are watching right now and want to know how to get access, you literally can just come into here in the welcome section, Woodsbot access, and it'll break down literally step by step. So this is all you need really. This will give you, full video breakdown, step by step what to do. All you do is sign up under a referral link that you can find here. deposit 500 USDT into your futures account, and then just send your UID into one of these bots here, depending on which exchange you sign up under. Within 24 to 48 hours, if you follow the rules of depositing the 500 and you have that in your account, then you will be granted access. Super simple. And again, completely free for those who don't understand. Like you're just depositing money into your own account, and we just get a portion of the fees from the exchange, which the exchange would get anyways. There's no upfront costs, there's no monthly fees, nothing. It's, you just put that money into your own account and trade it, and like you don't pay anything at the end of the day. So it's like Woodsbot and the stuff that we offer you guys is like, this is all 100% free. So it's important to highlight that. All right, guys. So like I said, I'm going to go over the markets kind of just on a higher time frame here real quick. You know, we'll dive in for about 10 minutes, just look at an overview, a snapshot of the market, where we're at, what's been going on, and then we'll dive into the emotional stuff. So we're going to get into our feels today with the emotions. But yeah, so, you know, October 10th, we had the extreme giga nuke on the market, and everything's just been, you know, that was really the start of the downtrend of this market and kind of, you know, the blow up of what's been going on. But we were in this, you know, daily range from middle of November to the end of January. So, you know, we were in this like 2.5 month range here, and we broke out of that. And since then, like if you look at the daily, it's just been relentless selling. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So out of 8 candles on the daily, there's only one that's been green, and like it's just, you know, it didn't do anything. It's just, you know, bids were here, they were filled, whatever, and the selling continued and just slammed us right down. So crazy, you know, when you zoom out and you look at these charts, that in October, so a matter of 3 months ago, we were trading at 125K. And now, you know, we're trading down into the 60Ks. Like things move fast in crypto. It's insane. There's not many markets that just can slice 50% of their market cap within 3 months, like crypto can. You know, it's part of the reason we love this industry is the volatility that comes with it, but it's also one of the things that can wreck us, especially if you don't have your emotions in check and you aren't, you know, being proficient in being cautious, managing your risks, things like that. And, you know, for the most part, this move and this unwinding, you know, whatever's caused it, there's always theories out there about people blowing up and this and that. And it's like a ton of offloading from big exchanges like Binance and stuff. And, you know, like trading actively through these things is a fucking nightmare. It just is, it's not easy, you know. I'm in Wealth Group, and I've been in Wealth Group for years. I'm a mod in there. I'm close with all the traders and stuff. And these guys are like some of the best in the game. And even they're struggling in these current market conditions because, you know, things just aren't operating how they normally do. Supports are just getting absolutely washed through. You have just like insane amounts of spot selling that like people are trying to figure out, you know, why or where is this coming from? What happened on October 10th to blow these markets up the way it did? It's been a nightmare. And, you know, this is all just to say that like, if you're struggling right now, like don't feel singled out like you're dumb, you're retarded, and everyone else is printing, because like I'm here to tell you, you know, I can see a lot of these top dogs and stuff. Everybody's struggling right now. You know, this is a very difficult period in the market. And at the end of the day, it's like you're going to experience these periods no matter what industry you're in. This is the times that like forge you into a trader, right? You know, if you've taken big losses, if you're struggling mentally in these markets, it's like this is the times that kind of define who makes it or not. It's like the people who cannot get their emotions in check, continue to blow account after account, cannot learn risk management, don't take the time to like look inward and understand the mistakes that they're making, and whether that's even being trading the markets knowing how bad they are or not. You know, that is also a mistake a lot of the times. Like that's the difference between the people who are going to make it and the people who are just going to, you know, end up quitting, right? And it's like that's the nature of this game. There's like the statistic is like less than 1% of people who actively day trade end up making it into a career and a living. And that's a disgusting statistic, you know what I mean? And I want every single one of you who's serious about this game to be in that 1%. That's why I do what I do. That's why we do what we do at Woodsbot. That's why we provide you these tools. That's why we do these live streams. That's why Woods has set this entire thing up, right? We want every single one of you who is willing to put in the work, who is serious about this, who wants to develop in this game to be successful. And, you know, that's exactly why we do what we do. That's like the heart and core of what Woodsbot is. So just all that to say, like, don't feel like you're dumb and you can't trade if you've been struggling in these conditions, because everybody is. Like, everybody is. With that being said, what do? Do we fucking give up? Do we just throw in the towel? Do we just like say, oh, this is it, I can't do it? No, you fucking don't. The people who do are not going to be the ones who reap the rewards when things turn around. They're not going to be the ones who, you know, pressure makes diamonds, the saying. It's like, well, fuck, we're under pressure right now. Like, these are the times where you need to like look inward, talk about your emotions, understand the mistakes that you're making, and, you know, fix them. Lower your risk and be able to do that and say like, okay, markets are bad. I'm not trying to fucking print thousands of dollars right now because I know the markets are bad, but I'm going to work on my procedures. I'm going to work on my strategy. I'm going to look into back testing and understanding what I'm doing more. And I'm going to become more proficient as a trader and as a person in terms of my emotions. This is kind of the period that we're in. You know, this isn't the get rich quick and easy, you know, and this whole cycle's been different than the last in terms of alts and get rich quick and stuff. But, you know, there's a big difference between this period of the market here and this period of the market here, right? Most of us in crypto are very long biased in terms of like, you know, send my bags, 100x alts and on chain and like whatever. But, you know, we're in a period right now where this is the complete opposite, and we are in like a very beyond clear downtrend, right? Like, it doesn't get any much clearer than this. You know, there's not even fucking clear structure higher lows in here. It's just, you know, disgusting. So, yeah, I mean, all that to say, it's been a very difficult market. The sell-off, like there's one green day out of 7 in the last while. We've kind of started to now find a bottom back in this range over here. You know, we ranged here from, what is this, March all the way into October. Like that's, you know, 3/4 of a year right there. Like that, we chopped around and now we're back inside of here. You can see we tested the top side and rejected. This is the top of the range. You know, I can see us after a move like this chopping around here for, you know, a month or two at least, right? That's how this market works. You have your periods of chop and range, and then you get your breakouts, right? This is the nature of markets. This one's a bit difficult up here, but you know, this is how the market works. You chop, you get an impulsive move to one side, you chop as both sides find value, you break out, you chop, you break out. You know, you get a big move, you chop, you get a big move, and we're going to chop for a while. Whether we, you know, end up breaking out to the downside further for more chop, or, you know, we consolidate here and actually start to go back up is to be seen. But we deal with the current market conditions that we do have, and we take it as it is, right? But it's important to also tailor expectations to know that, like, okay, you know, we're not going to V reverse this fucking thing. Like, we're just not. Markets have been washed heavily since 1010. Like, so much damage has been done that it takes time to rebuild that. We need to have a period of accumulation. You know, this up here is just distribution, right? It's like people were selling off coins, people were distributing up here. You know, this was the top, right? 126 was the top. And now, you know, it's a period of, you know, the opposite. You know, maybe we start accumulating down here in this range for 1 to 2 months before we eventually break back up, come into this range, whatever. And we'll cover all that as it goes, you know, but currently this is the reality that we're living in. If we go to really high time frames, this is the way that I kind of see things right now. All of these levels too, just for those guys that are verified, these are the Woodsbot indicator levels. So this will automatically plot levels for you onto the charts on any time frame. So you can see I'm going to go from weekly to daily to 4 hour, right? Like this will just automatically on any chart, doesn't matter. You can go, you know, 4 hour, daily. So when you see everyone in the chats putting in their levels and you're wondering where these come from and stuff, this is the Woodsbot indicator. That is one feature of it, and it does that all automatically. when you sign up, like I showed at the start, you will get access to this. Oh, hold on. I erased from the start. Let me go back. Yeah. So what I was saying is on really high time frame, this is the way that I kind of see things right now. We have very clear weekly levels here, right? And this is that old range that I was speaking about. It's most likely that we are going to chop in here, whether we, test the upside a little bit higher first, come down, maybe put in some high time frame divs, chop around a little bit before breaking out, whatever. I don't know what happens, but I am pretty certain that after a move like this, we get a period of chop in this old range here, which is kind of what I'm looking at, right? So that's kind of like an overview of the market on like more high time frames, kind of where we're at, kind of maybe what we can expect. So I'll just pause here in case anyone has any questions on that first before we get into like some more of the specific emotional stuff. Just let me know in the chat and clean my chart up here. Drink some water and we'll get into it. So like we'll go through some charts and stuff, but like I said, this is more going to be like an open conversation, right? Like the things, the emotions I wanted to go over that I think are important right now are so boredom, fear, and greed, right? So we'll go through one after the other, and we'll just talk about them, right? I experience these. Every advanced trader experiences these. People are not immune to them. They just have ways to deal with them, and they've become proficient at understanding themselves and knowing that personally, this is the type of market where I can easily get bored and look to overtrade or just drop down to the 1 minute just to find a trade. The list goes on. So, and every person, this is like the nuanced part about trading, is that every single person is going to have different emotions and react and have different like levels of each emotion, right? So some people might experience boredom hard, right? They like for whatever reason, maybe they have ADHD, maybe they just like feel like they always need to be in a trade, or like they're pressuring themselves because their income comes from trading, and they basically just feel like no matter what market conditions, they have to be in a trade. Now this works against you in a lot of ways, because when you feel like you always have to be in a trade, and like I'll be completely transparent through all this. Like I've been trading for about 3 years in terms of leverage, and just like day trading, and I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars joining in the top of last cycle of 2021 and FOMOing into all this shit. I have had to learn how to trade through the bear market, through fear and PTSD, and getting fucked emotionally from like buying the top and feeling FOMO. Like I've been through all of this. So when I speak to you guys on these things, I not only speak from personal experience, but I work within Wealth Group. I've been here from Woodsbot building since day one, helping all of the members through all of the bots and this whole experience. Like I have a very vast view of like how traders go through different periods, how myself personally goes through different periods. So like just a bit of context on where I'm coming from with this. And I never approach things like I'm some fucking expert. I learn from all of you guys every single day. There are people in the chats right now, and I'll just call him G2K is a fucking beast. This guy just came out of nowhere, and like the profit section is just filled with this dude's plays every single day. Every time I open it up, I see these plays. I'm just like, damn, this guy's fucking printing, man. Like, so I'm just all this to say that I'm no expert. I'm here as just a raw, open, straight to the fucking point, no bullshit type of dude who's just willing to talk about these things with you guys, because this is how you progress as a trader. We don't hide from these things. We don't cower from our own emotions and our own failures. We fucking look in the mirror. We say, you know what? I'm being an idiot. I am not managing my risk. I am just trading and over trading because I'm bored. Whatever it is, the only way you're going to get past this and the only way you're going to make progress is if you look yourself in that mirror, the accountability mirror, and tell yourself, I'm being an idiot. If I'm serious about this, these are the things that I need to fix. They're not easy to fix. Emotions are fucking difficult. They're triggered from things from your past, your childhood, the way you view money, your view of yourself and your own like self-esteem, the pressure you put on yourself, if this is your only income or whatever it may be, everybody experiences these things differently and on a different scale. And so, you know, I'll speak about on my experience, and some of you may jive with it, and it may like hit home for you, it may not, right? And so that's why I kind of want to keep this chat open in terms of the emotions, because this is what it's all about, you know what I mean? Like, I am trying to improve myself every day as a trader, because I'm not perfect, far from it, man. I'm just here, I'm willing to put in the work, I'm willing to be open and look in that accountability mirror, and I'm willing to, like, you know, put it all on the line. And so that's how you make it in this game. Yeah, we got to get G2K up in this bitch and just see what's going on with this guy. For real though, man, like, beyond impressed with your performance. Like, I want to call that out. Yeah, for real, man. It's like, that's the thing, is like, you can have this, and speaking from my own personal experience with everything I say, I can tell myself so many times, you know, when the market gets choppy, I'm going to size down and I'm not going to trade as much. And then, you know, every time the market does, it's like I find myself losing money, at least for a little period of time, before I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm doing that thing again, right? Like, it's so difficult to, like, govern yourself from an emotional standpoint to change not only your strategy of trading, but kind of like how you're psychologically approaching the charts. And, like, you know, it happens to me every single time. We'll go from a trending market into a ranging market, and I'll be like, okay, the next time that this happens, I'm not going to overtrade. I'm going to, like, you know, take profits quicker, move my stop loss quicker, and change. But there's always a period where I get wrecked for like a day or two or 3 or 4, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm doing that thing again. I should, like, not. It happens every time, man. So, yeah, I mean, this is the type of market where you can easily get bored, right? Like, we are not making big moves. Volatility gets crushed after a move like this. Like, okay, put this into perspective. What is this? 90K. That's a $30,000 move on Bitcoin from 28th of January to the 5th of February. What is that? That's like 1 week. We've made a 30% move on Bitcoin in a week. That is ridiculous. 1 week ago, we're sitting at 90K. That's crazy. I mean, you go back even a few more days, we're sitting at literally damn near 100, right? So after a move like this, the reason the market chops is because we need to find value from both buyers and sellers. This is now the value area for people to sell. This is now the value area, just whatever, if this becomes the range, for people to buy, until eventually one side breaks. But we need to find equilibrium within the market again. Now, chopping markets are one of the most difficult markets for people to A, identify, and B, to actually trade and execute around. They are designed to chop you up as people accumulate or distribute within this range. And I cover a lot on ranges for you in terms of how to view them with our indicators and spot them, as well as how to trade around them. But essentially, you know, the period of the market where we chop is going to elicit boredom. It's going to be slow. You only, in a ranging market, you only want to ideally execute around the extremes. This area here in the middle, this is where people lose a shit ton of money by over trading, by feeling bored, you know, all of these things. And so ranges are designed for this, right? The feeling that you always have to be in a trade is one of the most common things that come from someone who is just beginning in trading, and even people who are advanced at trading. Crypto markets move so fast. They are 24/7. You see people everywhere, LARPing or not, with big P&Ls. They're killing it in this because maybe they're good at trading ranges. And it just psychologically, you listen to the noise and you get in your own head and you feel like, okay, why can't I do it? Why can these people trade in ranges and I can't? And you think you have to, and you drop down and you start trading on different time frames that you don't normally trade on just to find a trade. You start doing different or taking trades based off different triggers and things just because you want to get into a trade, or completely avoiding your entire trading plan and strategy in the first place because you're not waiting for those A-plus setups that you know have a higher probability of making you money, that you're comfortable risking your money on. And so you start making all these like silly and stupid mistakes. Now, the difficult part about that is if you're bored and you start making these mistakes, this leads into other emotions that really fuck you up, because then you start to revenge trade. You start saying like, oh, well, shit, I just made a stupid mistake and lost this money. I need to make it back to feel the pain of that trade. It's not even so much about the money. It's just like, it's this like psychological hole that you just screwed up and went against your trading rules. And now you're like, okay, I just need to make a trade to bring that back to break even, to almost like mitigate that and fill that hole of this like pain internally that I'm feeling that I just lost, so that I feel okay, I feel whole again, as opposed to just saying, you're an idiot, why are you trading? Why are you taking trades based off a strategy you don't even use or have never back tested, or taking trades because you see other people making money even though this is not your conditions for trading? And then you start to psychologically get in your head and you start to like lose confidence. You start to like maybe take more trades out of like revenge trading and things like this, and you can downward spiral hard. And what the market will do in these areas is it'll go like this, and you'll be like, oh, taking trades here, taking trades here, taking trades here, reverse, 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 and you just wreck yourself, and it's so pointless. And then we'll go up to here. We'll make a really nice, super easy spot where like you could take damn near any trade in the market, and you would have made so much money if you just sat on your hands, if you were just patient, and you just did something else with the time. I think this is another thing when it comes to boredom. You don't have to be in a trade to progress in this game. This is like, it's such a holistic thing in trading based around your life. If you are not healthy in your real life, in terms of decent sleep at least, healthy food, working out and moving your body instead of sitting in a fucking chair for 12 hours, these are not going to benefit you if you're serious about trading. And I'll just be real. Like this whole like, grind mentality and stuff, it's like, yeah, you need to do that, but you do need to also balance it with a healthy mind and a healthy body. You're not going to be successful in this game by just like letting your mind and your body deteriorate, sitting here trading 1 minute charts and stuff. You need to find that balance. I'm not saying you need to go be a fucking gym aficionado, but like take 20 minutes to like go walk, take a run, to like do some push-ups or something. I don't know, like better yourself in this way. And finding ways to have structure and systems and discipline in your life to tell you that like, okay, I have alerts up here. I'm not going to take trades because statistically I've looked at how I trade here in the middle of the range over 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I get chopped every time. I'm making stupid mistakes. I'm doing all the things that I just covered. And so, what do I do in this time? Because at the end of the day, we all want to be better. We all want to progress. So what do I do in this time to fill this boredom that I have, that like I feel for some reason that if I'm not in the trade, I'm not progressing? There's ways to do that, back test, go through and look at previous data, your previous trades, try a new strategy and back test it. Like don't actively trade it, just go back into previous price action and trade it, and take an hour or two a day to like see how you can like mold your mind to better understand pattern recognition in these markets without risking your real money, because from previous experience that your boredom kicks in here in the middle of the range and you get wrecked. And now that takes discipline, right? It takes discipline to sit there and say that and whatever. And it's like another thing you can do is like, say you suck at trading ranges, we'll go back and look at ranges for the past year and how you could have traded them theoretically, and then apply that when the time comes in this current range, as opposed to like learning with real money. So there's a lot of ways that you can like quell your boredom without. And the other thing too is that like you don't have to not trade. If you want to risk your capital and stuff, just like don't be an idiot. And if you risk 1% normally on a trade, risk like 0.25, because this isn't a place where you're profitable. So why would you put your hard-earned money on the line? Like, you know what I mean? It's like just risk like 0.25. Like now again, even that takes discipline, because people don't want to risk 0.25 because they're like, oh, well, what if the trade plays out and I make a quarter of what I normally would have made? Yeah, well, fucking so what? The trades don't work out in the middle. You know that because you get wrecked. You know that because you liquidate accounts. You know that because you trade out of boredom. You know that because you just trade seeing other people trade. So what the fuck are you talking about? That's that accountability mirror. It's like You can't be a pussy in that thing. You got to look at yourself and say, I am an idiot. I liquidate account after account. I don't manage my risks. And just trying to progress myself so quickly and it's not working. Okay, well, why isn't it working, right? Like this is the conversation we're having. And this is a conversation you need to have with yourself, you know. I can't be the one who wants to see you succeed more than you want to see yourself succeed. Like, it ain't gonna work if that's the thing. So let's see the chat's going on here, kind of going off. But you know, like these are the things that a lot of other not other groups, just like these are the things that are difficult for people to talk about, and these are the things that people don't want to be real about because they feel like your ego gets involved with trading, right? Oh, if I post a losing trade, then everyone's going to think I'm a loser or I'm not a good trader, or I've been trading for 2-3 years. If I'm struggling in this period, then I'm a fraud or I'm a phony. And it's like, it's all bullshit. The market doesn't care about how you feel. The market doesn't care how you feel. The market is quite literally designed to take your money. It doesn't give a shit. It's happy you feel like that. That's what every candle you see on the chart is painted by other people's emotions. This here is painted by people who are just bulltards, who are just retarded, who are just like chopping themselves up, and the market uses this. It just sells into it. It knows how to elicit and how to like generate these emotions from people and how to make people feel like, oh, everything's all over. It's the most common thing in crypto. We're never coming back. It's all over. Markets are doomed. Crypto's done. They know how to generate this, and they fill their fucking bags down here while everyone capitulates and sells and says, oh, it's over. But you have to get to the point where you can understand that. You can see the emotions painted in this. It's not just candles. You get the story that they're telling you. And, you know, that takes time. That takes going through all of these things that I'm talking about, but experiencing them personally. You have to screw up. You have to over risk. You have to make big mistakes. But the number one thing that I would say if you want to be a successful trader is you need to learn how to win at losing. Let me say that again. The most important thing to becoming a trader is you need to learn to win at losing. You need to understand that every loss you take is a lesson for you to get better and for you to progress. And if you are not using that capital that you lost in a stop loss or making a stupid decision, you are literally not going to progress. And it is on nobody but yourself. Again, I can't be the one who wants you to succeed more than you want yourself to succeed. I'll sit on here for 5 hours and give you guys all the tools, the bots to look at, the strategies, the mental frameworks to look at. But at the end of the day, if you don't apply these for yourself, if you feel motivated from this and everything's all hunky-dory and I'm going to kill it, and then 2-3 hours from now you go back to chopping yourself up, what the fuck's the point, man? You're not going to make it. I'll be real. Like, unless you look in that accountability mirror, you are not going to make it, man. And it's just the way it is. And it may sound harsh, but again, the market doesn't care. I care. That's why I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be raw. I'm going to give you guys, you know, the frameworks and stuff to actually succeed and to like keep yourself together to become a better trader. But the market doesn't give a shit. The market doesn't care, man. The market's designed to take your money. There's institutional traders now in this game. There are giant whales. There are people who are literally painting these charts, trying to make you chop yourself up, trying to make you lose patience and make you lose hope. You got to be able to see it that way, or you know they're going to be successful. That's just the harsh reality, right? Like, I'm not here to hold anyone's hand and say you're going to make it no matter what. It's all going to be good. You might not. You might not. Like I said, 1% of people actually make it, and it's going to come down to if you can look in that accountability mirror, if you can learn to win at losing, you're going to be okay if you can do that. If you manage your risks throughout that process, and because no matter what, everyone's going to take losses. It's inevitable. Everyone's going to screw up on every different kind of emotion you can. You have to manage your risks and be smart and disciplined enough to be able to make those mistakes, pay for those lessons and learn from them without destroying yourself. Because I'll tell you right now, the other thing that screws people up, again, everyone's going to learn these lessons. If you're learning these lessons and you're making them detrimental and expensive to you by like blowing 10% of your account on a trade, blowing 25% of your account on a trade, liquidating yourself because you're risking your whole account, you're never going to do it because like the expensive lessons are too expensive and they're putting you so much further behind versus someone who over the period of a year risked 1% on trades, has like a rule of like, okay, if I lose 4% or 3% of my account on like 1% trades, so I lose like 3 trades a day, I take the day off, I journal what went wrong, I look at the things. That's the type of person who's going to make it. I don't care if you want to hear this or not, but like you're not going to get rich overnight. There are very few people who just like end up hitting a Pepe from $400 to $1 million. It's like, you know, yeah, it could happen. You could also win the fucking lottery, but like this is a game. You literally do the things I'm telling you in the frameworks, and you like put in the work, and you have the discipline, and you manage your risks, and you can literally change your life and create your own lottery. But it doesn't happen overnight. It happens over years, and you know, days and weeks and months of pain and agony and just battling with your own emotions, and becoming a better person because of it. If you're learning, right, like it's a very long, extended, drawn out period that sucks, but the reward after is absolutely huge. Appreciate it. Alchemist, have a good day, brother. Don, you guys win my heart, man. I'm here doing this because at the end of the day, Woods did this for me. Woods was my like mentor. He like taught me. He brought me and Dal under his wing and taught us. He seen how hungry we were. He put these things into my mind, you know what I mean? And I am grateful to be able to give that back to you guys because like, you know, I do this because I want to see you guys succeed. I do this because I'm telling you the things that it takes, and I'll be upfront and honest when like you have all these Coles and shit, KOLs and crypto and stuff who like they're just literally gonna spew bullshit, gonna say you can get rich quick overnight and stuff, and these are the people who get wrecked because they use you as exit liquidity. It's like that's not what we are here. You know, we are a community and we're stronger together. I want to see you guys succeed. Tag me in fucking 100 charts a day, and I'll get to them in the chats, you know what I mean? Like I'm here for you. We all are. Cypress, the mods, Dow, Woods, all of us, native, creating these bots. Like we want to see you guys succeed. What and when was your turning point from losing to winning? That's a great question, and I appreciate you asking that. For me, it was quite honestly experiencing so much pain and losing so much and making so many mistakes that realizing that like if I continue to do this, like I'm literally never gonna make it. And like I'm the type of person that holds myself to such a ridiculously high standard that like, you know, trading for me was hard. It was hitting me psychologically so hard, because like I had all these like, you know, low self-esteem issues too from like childhood and stuff, just from like, we won't get into like all of this, but it's like, you know, they were playing on these emotions of like, oh, you're not enough. Oh, like you're not going to make it, but other people are. Like, oh, you're phony, this and that. And like I was just losing and spiraling down, and realized that like one day, like, you know, I am at the end of the day making all these mistakes, and I'm the only one who can actually fix it. So I would say like it just became a point where there's a saying, let me try and remember it. It's like the only way you'll actually change is when you are more tired of the person you are, when like the work of or the pain of being the person you are. Hold on, let me think of this. It's a really, really good quote. It's like when the thing that truly drives change is when the pain of remaining who you are today is less than the pain of like actually making change and actually looking in the mirror and stuff. And it's like there just became an inflection point where I was like, I know technically all of the ways to trade and how to make plays. I know in my mind how to manage risks and when to go risk on, when to go risk off, but I'm just like letting my own mind play with me. And at the end of the day, you know, it took me like, I don't know, 2.5 years of just like getting destroyed and losing accounts and blowing accounts, and like to get to the point where it just kind of like, you know, I was like, enough is enough. And I just like basically made structured rules that I follow, and, you know, moved with discipline in terms of like, if you lose X amount per day, you stop, this and that. And I still, you know, would break my rules all the time and stuff, but then you journal it and you say like, you could go back and look at like, when you do break your rules, what happens? How do you feel? You know, what is the outcome? Is it ever positive? No. And then even the times it is positive and you journal it, you're like, okay, well, what, is this going to just make me continue to break my rules because I had a 1 out of 10 time where it actually played out because I got lucky, like, you know what I mean? So for me, like, there wasn't like a specific day or something that I can say, but it was basically, yeah, my emotions are way calmer now. Like, you know, even going through this, it's like I've been through so many of these that, like, yeah, trust me, like sometimes I'll try and take trades and markets just like bad, but I understand that, like, oh, okay, well, you know what? Conditions are going to get better. I can wait for a clearer trigger. I'm not at the point now where it's like this, just like, I don't know what I'm doing. My mind is controlling me. I'm like so afraid. I think it's all over. It's like I can just sit on my hands and not trade and understand that, like, okay, well, I have Woodsbot indicators, so I'll try trades here. I'll try trades here. I'll try trades here. You know, this was bad. Maybe you try trades here and you get blown out because it was like a very aggressive sell-off. Those happen. Try trades here. You know, if that doesn't work, then wait for a clear level and I'll try trades here. Like, and if I don't catch any of this, then I'll try trades here. So it's over time gotten to the point where it's like I don't have my mind controlling me as much, to the point where like it's making decisions for me and I'm like FOMOing into positions. I'm like revenge trading hard. Don't get me wrong, I still do it, but I catch myself and the losses become more and more minimal as time goes on because I can see myself repeating those same patterns that I've journaled about. I've gone through and like understood what they are because I've felt the pain of them and things like that. I've been on the losing side for the past 2 years. I earn a lot and I give back a lot. Right now, I just want to learn. I asked Dallas the same question today. What was the turning point? How did you go from being a loss-making trader to a profitable one? They're just two. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Like, you say you earn a lot. Is that from your job? I don't need dollar amounts. I don't care. I'm just saying, like, you earn a lot from things outside of crypto and then you give back a lot in crypto, correct? Okay, so like you make big gains and big losses, essentially. All right, two rules that you must adopt. So rule number one is if you are not profitable, if you are not consistent in trading, you should not be risking a lot of your money because it is not about making money. If you're not consistent in trading, it's not about making money. Drill that into your head, write it on a piece of fucking paper, staple it to the wall or put it on your computer. If you're not profitable with $100 in trading, you are not going to be profitable with 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000. It doesn't matter. The principles are the same. If you are using proper rules and you are risking 1 to 2% of your account, you do the same thing with $100 that you would do with $100,000. Now, the emotions will be different based on that dollar amount. You go through those stages, but it doesn't matter. The process is the same. The percents are the same. And so it's really important to understand that, yeah, you earn a lot, but you give back a lot. But why? You're just risking more. It doesn't matter. You're not consistent. Like, what's the point? You're just risking more money, so you earn a lot. It doesn't matter because you give it back. The point that you should be focusing on right now is how do I just lock in for like 1 to 2 months on a strategy, one or two, with a smaller dollar amount. So I don't let my emotions affect me because I know the feeling of like, oh yeah, I made a shit ton and then I gave it back. I made a shit ton, I gave it back. It's like a fucking 2-week cycle, 2-week cycle, 2-week cycle. But what I'm saying to you is take the amount of money that you have and you need to like scrub your mind that this is for money. I'm trying to make money with crypto. That comes after. That is step 2. You need to go through step 1 and understand that like you need to have 3 or 2 months consistently profitable using your strategy. And it cannot be about the dollars. It doesn't, like, if this is your sole income and stuff, then you know you might need to find other income until this works to relieve the pressure of you feeling like you have to do this, you have to be in a trade and stuff. So I would say like rule number 1 is like you need to like cut your capital drastically down and drill it into your head that this is not about the money, this is about the process, this is about the results, this is about the repeated daily discipline of taking structured trades based off a system using proper risk management and an actual system and not just random high risk things where yes, of course you're going to win some and you make a lot of money, but yes, you're going to give it all back no matter what because you're not using a structured system. So I would say that's probably the biggest thing for you, and that is a mental unlock. It's not about the money. You need to like scrub your mind of that. Step 1 is not about the money. I'm telling you right now, you get that down, you build a process, a repeatable process and a strategy and you use proper risk management, when you then put money into the equation, you'll make money. But until you do that, it doesn't work. It's like just a random analogy. Like a baby has to crawl before it can stand up and fucking walk and run. And it's like you're just trying to run, and it's like you're just gonna fall. You're gonna be limp. You're just like, yeah, sure, maybe you get a few strides, and it's like, oh shit, look, I can do it, and you fall. It's like learn to walk before you run. Let me know if that makes sense, Hassan. That's a great point, Mello. It's more important to become consistent with small dollar amounts because the shit gets boring. However, boring is profitable. That's exactly it. You need to get to a point where it's like your emotions, win or loss, are not rapidly going up or down. It needs to stay in this like kind of calm band in between those two extremes, win or loss, right? You can't be like beyond euphoric. Of course, you're gonna have trades in crypto like go 50 fucking percent in 10 minutes. Those are great. It's impossible to not feel euphoric when that happens. But you need to mitigate your downside by only risking 1 or 2%, and a process where it's like if they take your stops, whatever, it doesn't affect you. It's like, okay, cool, I lost 1%. If I made a mistake, then I'll figure out what that mistake was. If I was being an idiot, it's not like a, oh shit, I just took a 10 to 15% hit. Like psychologically, that will fuck your head up. Numbers wise too, it's gonna just play against you so hard. Picks. I struggled in the beginning with trying too many strats. Now I'm sticking to one to master. Yes, that is a great point. And it's one of the most common things I think you see in crypto is hundreds of indicators, hundreds of different strategies, people who have dialed in on one strategy. You might see Hicks, for instance, trading and be like, damn, this guy's fucking printing. And it's like, yeah, but that's because he just honed in on one strategy, put in the work and back tested in the time and hours every single day, went through the pains of that one specific strategy and understood the pros, the cons, the wins, the losses, the mistakes, and then he's profitable with it. And it's like, you can do that too, but you can't jump from one, try it for a week or two, jump to the next. In the start, you will do that though, just to be fair, because you're trying to figure out what kind of style you are, what jives with your personality even and stuff. So that's a really good point too. And honestly, back to the question of like what made a difference for me, that is one of the things too, is for me to just really stick with a specific strategy instead of jumping around. That was also a very huge unlock for me. So what Hicks is saying is very valid. Yeah, absolutely agreed. Emotions are pretty controlled now. Risk management is also what I have now. Like almost 2 years to learn. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, that's a normal time frame. Like fucking kick people to the curb that say you can learn this and become a profitable trader in 6 months. Yeah, sure, maybe there's 1 out of 100 people who just randomly can, but that's not the standard. That's not the average. It's not how it works. I would say 2 to 3 years is generally the time frame in which people actually start to build a strategy and a process and become not even profitable, but just like consistent to where now they can build back into profitability. So like 2 years is normal, man, 100%. Same with me. It took me 2.5 years to even get to a point where I could like have a consistent strategy essentially. And like the way that you're here, I see you in Wealth Group, you're asking questions, you're active, you're literally trying to look and learn, and you're taking advice from these people. That's how you become successful. That is what the point of these groups is. That is what the point of me doing these things is, right? It's like being able to talk to people in WG especially who have years and years of trading and who are professional and who like do this for a living and make a shit ton of money, have made all of the mistakes I'm talking about but tenfold. That's gold, man. That like you don't get access to people like that in other things, right? Like that's one of the beauties of Discord. I can sit in a Discord with Johnny and chat shit or talk about trades in Wealth Group. And you can too. Like I'm not saying I'm special because I'm a mod. I was talking to Johnny or Woods or messaging these people when I was just a trader randomly in there trying to learn. You don't get to do that in other, things, right? Like maybe, yeah, you have someone who's like a coach in sports or whatever, but you don't get to go talk to like these guys in the big league. You don't get to go ask these big trading desks what they're doing and stuff. In crypto, you're literally rubbing shoulders with these guys, in chats with these guys, and you have the ability to like, progress yourself if you're willing to put yourself out there. And that's the beauty of these groups. Being self-critical helps. I'm very quick to blame myself instead of an outside source. My journal has shown me that 9 out of 10 issues were self-inflicted. Yeah, great point. Absolutely great point. And like again, just giving flowers where flowers are deserved. I've seen Hicks absolutely fucking progress so quickly in the last like month, within Wealth Group and within here. And like, I'm proud of you, bro. Like it's sick, and all the things you're saying are like testaments to that. It's like one of the biggest things that people will do is blame other things. They'll blame the traders who gave a trade that they took. They pressed the buttons themselves and took the trade and it didn't accept the risk of it, thinking no matter what happens, they're going to win. Or they'll blame the market and say that, like, for instance, you know how easy it would be to just blame the market, say, oh, the market's just selling off, it's being manipulated, blah, 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 but still continuing to just take trades and chop yourself into a liquidation. At the end of the day, you're the one fucking sitting there pressing those buttons. The market's not doing anything. There's not a gun to your head saying, oh, you better long this, you better long this, you better long this, you better long this, till you fucking lose all your money. Like, at the end of the day, you straight up are making those decisions, and if you do not take accountability for that, you're never going to progress. Like, flat out, you're never going to progress. That is what I'm talking about with that accountability mirror, is being able to look in that and say, okay, well, maybe I'm the retard who is just continuing to long in a downtrend when things are clearly going bad, because I'm just feeling like I need to be in a trade. And it's like, I'm the one doing that. If you can't take accountability for that, if you can't take accountability for the actions you take by pressing those buttons, looking at the charts and entering this or that, you will not progress. This is the key. Bro, I'm on that freaking coffee and espresso. We're ripping. But no, like, I love talking about this shit. I'm passionate about it. You know what I mean? It's like, it gets a fire going in me to help people become successful in this. It's like why I'm in the position I'm in. It's like, this isn't just, oh, show up and clock in. Like, I give a fuck about the money, man. I'm here to help you guys. Like, I am passionate about this. You learn about yourself so fast in trading once you master yourself. You master trading. Yes. So this is another key point. I appreciate you guys being so active in this chat. This is what I want. This is a very interactive thing where I'm not some guru. It's like everyone experiences this differently, has gone through the different emotions and stuff. So this is great. What Mello is saying is massive, because this is also what goes back to what I was saying in terms of like, okay, when you're bored, what else can you do? Go hit some push-ups or do a workout. Get your mind right. Go meditate. Go journal. Go back test. Go for a walk. Go hang out with your wife or your kids or your husband, whatever it may be, and or go hang out with yourself in a park and just drink a coffee. Shut your mind off for a sec. Listen to the fucking birds in the sun. Come back to real life and be healthy overall, because having an unhealthy mind is going to lead to unhealthy emotions in these charts that are made to manipulate them, and that's going to lead to decisions that further spiral you down into more unhealthy emotions, more unhealthy lifestyle, and things like that. You need to be able to detach yourself from the charts and the outcomes of the charts, and that is why risk management is so important. You should not be so attached to a losing trade that, like, oh, you think about it for the next 2, 3, 4 days and you can't think and you can't sleep. Yeah, that's going to happen when you risk 10 to 15% because you're an idiot and you shouldn't have done that. If you lose 1% and maybe you lose another 1% on a trade and you realize, okay, today is a very difficult trading day, I'm clearly not having success, like things are going on, step away and it doesn't matter. You're not stuck and attached and dwelling in your mind as this spiral of the trade and you can't get off of it and you feel like you need to make it back because it's still that pain and you need to, like, you need to be able to, like, be healthy. This is a very stressful environment. This is a very stressful career. This is a very stressful industry. You need to be able to go and work out and clear that stress out of your body, meditate, slow your mind down, come back to real life, come back to the fact that you can see your emotions happening and you're not being controlled and letting them take hold of you. These are all things that are important and in the long run are going to help you become a profitable trader. People like to think that they're separate and whatever, but like, I'm telling you, if you spend 30 minutes to an hour going to the gym as one sole thing you do, you will be a better trader. You will be a better person, a better husband, a better wife, a better father, a better mother, whatever it is, from just one simple action. And it just comes back down to, like, how bad do you fucking want it? If you say you do and you're motivated from this and then 2 hours later you're not doing anything about it, I can't fucking help you. No one can. You're not looking in the accountability mirror. And, like, it's important. It's important to do that. Yeah, Vent is such a G, man. Vent is one of the most knowledgeable people when it comes to trading and just emotions and stuff. And yeah, Vent's just a G. and ultimately be kind to yourself. All right, let's go. It's easy to beat yourself after a bad trade day. I am not saying don't feel the emotions, just don't live in it. Feel it, learn from it, move on. This is a healthy way to approach this. You need to understand. This goes back to the like this. I'm telling you, this is one of the biggest unlocks you'll ever have as a trader or anything, whether you're in business, whether you're taking on a new venture or anything, is to learn to win at failing. I live by that in all areas of my life. You need to understand how to win at losing. And that does not mean beating yourself up and spiraling negatively and saying, oh, you're a fucking idiot. Oh, why'd you do this? You're useless. You're never going to be a trader. That is not going to help. You need to remove yourself emotionally from the outcome. Yes, you're going to feel dumb. Yes, you're going to feel regret. Yes, you're going to feel like you made a stupid decision. Sometimes the second after you click that button, you feel it in your stomach. These are normal, but you cannot let them contain you and overtake you and control you. That's why being healthy comes into play with this. It's like you need to, yes, feel it, like Hicks is saying. That's inevitable. You cannot escape emotions. You need to be like, yeah, you know what? Damn, that was a stupid move. I knew the second I clicked that button or the second I decided to risk 5% or something that was stupid, and now I'm paying the price. Shouldn't have done it, but it happens. So what can I learn from this to prevent me from feeling like this in the future? Because I'll tell you right now, if you sit there and say, oh, you're a dumbass, you're never going to make it, you are going to perpetually pull yourself back into making these decisions. So you need to have the discipline emotionally and psychologically to separate yourself from the outcome, but still feel it, because that's important. Emotions are simply triggers for you to feel or learn something. They are not. So if you feel angry because someone's in your space or something, you understand that that is a breach of your personal space. That is something that goes against what you believe, whatever it is. That doesn't mean you need to just, lash out and blow up on them. Situational, obviously, whatever. But in general, it's like these triggers and these emotions are there to tell you that when you lose a trade and you feel regret, you feel stupid. It's like, yeah, you probably should. Why'd you put 5% risk on and just decide to go in on this trade? That's what's going to happen. Now, should you do that again in the future? No, I shouldn't do that because this is how I feel. I made a mistake. I'm going to own it. Do I feel like an idiot? Of course. Do I want to feel like an idiot in the future? No, I don't like this feeling. So how do you just healthily deal with that? Paco, trading is really simply a reflection of your own life. If you are meticulous, disciplined, resilient, and not over emotional, you will see it reflected in your trading. If you blow up easily, get upset quick, always have this battle of should I do things that's healthy, gym, nutrition, should I do the task that's been daunting, the hard thing, it all is a reflection into your subconscious tendencies. It's not some magical indicator or strategy. It is your psychological subconscious deeply embedded in there. How did you react to gifts or lack thereof as a kid? Tons of stuff. This is so important because it's so true. It's literally the thing that is so interesting about this career, trading in general, crypto, traditional markets, it doesn't matter, is that it is one of the most personal and spiritual journeys you can go on in terms of a profession, because it's going to pull all of the negative and positive emotions out of you. Money has a tendency to do that, and that's what you're going to get with trading, and it's going to be amplified because of the fucking industry that we're in, where Bitcoin can go 90K to 60K in 7 days, or it can rip and coins can go 50x, whatever. You are going to experience all the emotions and traumas and triggers from your childhood, from your middle-aged years, from things that you've carried with you your whole life, and those are going to be reflected in the way that you handle your emotions when fear arises, when greed arises, when boredom arises, when self-esteem in terms of even being euphoric or feeling down on yourself arises. This is the personal journey that we're all on, and this is why I say I'm glad you guys are all sharing, because my journey is different than your journey. Taco's journey is different than mine. Taco's journey is different than all of yours. Hicks is different than Mello. All of the above is different than everybody. Now we can give little tidbits and input and, overall talks about frameworks and stuff that work across the board. But at the end of the day, you are going to experience things differently than everyone else. So am I. And so it's a personal journey. And the point of having a community like Woodsbot is that we can support each other in that journey without judgment, without, you know, playing down on other people and things like this. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's why these spaces are important. You know, if you want to put yourself out there and start taking trades or asking questions, you're like, there are no stupid questions. It's like, I got to where I am because I was insistent on asking questions. I would tag Woods on like all of my trades in Wealth Group when I was trying to learn. I was like DMing Woods, like, yo, bro, like, you see me in the charts, like, bring me into your workshops. And then like workshops would happen in Wealth Group and he'd be like, who wants to come up? I would put myself out of my comfort zone and say, all right, fuck, this is weird talking about my trading in front of a bunch of people, but I'll put myself out there. He's seen all of that. And then I would DM him, me and Dal, and we're like, yo, bro, we're taking your workshops, but like, we want to take this to the next level. We're hungry. Will you help us? You know, questions, putting yourself out there, showing your initiative will do nothing but get you rewarded. And just for like people who are uncertain and stuff, it's like, if you ever see someone shitting on someone in the chats or talking down on someone, tag me, because that motherfucker is not going to do that. Like, we do not stand for that, and I'm serious. We are a space where you are open and free to express no matter where you are in this journey. May I ask if you're planning some trial period of AI trading bot also for gold members? Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff coming up. I think we will probably do that in the future. We have updates to the limit order bot that are coming. You know, we have like the market bot we've been talking a lot about and stuff, and then we have a lot of other really big things coming down the works here. But yeah, we are always looking to do trials for people in terms of the gold bots, or yeah, potentially even the AI bot. Maybe I'll talk to Woods and Dal about that. Maybe once we get like the limit order bot update out, and then, you know, give you guys access to a few of those for free. Yeah, of course, bro. Carlo. All right, guys. Like, open right now too. So any questions you have on any emotion, we were going to kind of go into separate emotions, but you know, we kind of covered it holistically across the board. I think this was like a really good conversation, and I want to thank you guys for adding in your input and asking your questions and whatnot. And again, like, we're not done, so if you want to ask more questions, feel free. One last thing, you guys are the best community. Nowhere else are these kind of conversations and exchanges possible. The support and the possibilities you give us as a bot is simply fantastic. Thank you. Bro, I appreciate it. You know, this is why we do what we do. I mean it when I say I'm proud of you. I've seen you come in and like fully put yourself to the test with all of this and put yourself out there and calling trades using the bots and the levels and all that. And it's like, bro, I'm straight up beyond impressed with how many trades you're taking and how you're applying all of these strategies across the board. So yeah, I mean, you know, the messages like that you just sent are why we do what we do, you know. And even just to play off this about Woods says keep it positive, it's like, you know, everything in here is a positive exchange. You telling me that fires me up more to do what I'm doing, which then fires you up more to, like, you know, be a part of this community, share in this community, grow in this community. That's what it's all about. That's like, there is no negativity, no bullshit. This is, you know, this is why we do what we do. I want to see every single person here succeed, and I will personally do everything I fucking can to make sure that that happens, you know. Within the time works of like my time and energy and all of this, it's like I put so much into like all of the education I give you guys, all of the videos I put out for you guys, these streams and stuff. I do it because I want to see you guys succeed. Native builds these bots because he wants to see you succeed. Woods and Dow created this whole thing because they want to see you succeed. Cyphers puts together all these videos and films all of these and edits all of these and like records all these because he wants to see you guys succeed as well, right? It's like we're all here because we want to see you guys succeed. That is the core and the fucking heart of Woodsbot, and it's the heart of all of us individually here. So I want to thank all of you for being a part of the community. I want to thank all of you for sharing your experiences, positive or negative. I want to thank all of you for, you know, supporting us. Appreciate that, Vlad. I am an eternal optimist for sure. Two more questions. How should we journal our trades? What should be highlighted in it? This is a great question. This is actually something I was going to cover. Secondly, consider me a newbie. I just want to restart my crypto journey. All control, delete previous. Where should I start with? I feel like I have this mindset of restarting now. Will help me make a better trader. This mistake in last few years will be very minimal. All right. In terms of journaling, I'll touch on that. So what I do is I use Discord. So, there's tons of ways. Mello, drop your chat. You might even have a better one now, I'm sure you do, but even just drop your old chat GPT prompt, or just create a new one right now for people to use to journal as well, because he created one with AI that's extremely great. But what I do, there's multiple ways you can do this. I just use a Discord. Like this is like, when is this? I haven't used this in a minute, like July 10th, right? So I need to get back to journaling. It's a thing that I do on and off, but this is what I do. I'll take screenshots, and a lot of times I like to take it before and after, or for instance, like 30-minute and then like a 4-hour. So I have a high time frame and a low time frame view. I will put like my triggers. So why did I take the trade? What prompted me to like enter this trade? And then I'll drop an analysis, right, of saying like, okay, this is why, for this one, I guess I waited for weeks for this level, finally got it, swept out the highs, and then retested the flip level. You can see we swept out the highs here, retested the flip level. My flip of the level was my trigger, rising volumes, and the sweep of the key highs was my triggers. As you can see, sweep the key highs, volume going up, retesting. That's why I entered the trade for this one. But yeah, just in general, right? And it's like even reason for closing. So I would say like put the trade itself. Was it a market or a limit? Put the triggers. That's the most important thing, right? Like, what is your strategy? Do you have two different strategies? So I play reversals and I play like flips, right? So like a reversal being like, we come down, this is a reversal with RSI divs, but then I also play flips of levels. So it's like I have two different strategies. Just put down what your triggers were for the trade, what strategy it was. Give yourself an honest, unbiased analysis of why you took the trade. Just write out all the reasons of why you took the trade. Just raw, like don't try and like structure it to sound good, just write it out. That's going to be the most beneficial thing. If it's a loss, journal it. Same thing, write your triggers, put your analysis, so my analysis on this was, again, notice my language on triggers, trying to flip. So trying to flip H1OB as opposed to flipped H1OB. So this one, flip of key level was a winning trade. Losing trade, trying to flip. So I pointed that out. It's like trying to flip. Notice that, right? It's not flipped. So, okay, well, the trade lost probably because of that. But these are the things that like you just need to get really raw and real with, is just put your triggers, put your analysis for the trade, put your reason for closing or your reason for taking profits. Another thing that is beneficial is put just like an emotional, so just put like emotions felt, and just, were you afraid in this trade? Were you feeling greedy and you didn't take profits and it stopped you break even? Things like this. Let me know if that kind of answers your question in terms of journaling. And then this is the other thing. Mello has created like a prompt that you can literally put into ChatGPT or probably any AI, and it will basically help you structure, how to journal within that. And you can put different entries. It'll ask you questions in terms of what tracking data you want and how you want it to approach it and how you want it to read your data and give you feedback. And this will be probably the most useful thing that you can do, because you can tell it after you've talked to it and given it 5, 10, 6, 10, 12, whatever trades, and say, okay, I need you to put these all onto a graph and show me, what my entries were, what the correlations with that were, where my mistakes and languaging is telling me I'm making mistakes. Like, read it all back to me, show me what I'm doing wrong, and it'll literally do that for you, and it'll be beyond beneficial. I suggest everyone get very comfortable with using things like AI, especially for trading journals, because it will point out things that you are not even thinking about if you're raw and honest in like your analysis and stuff. Where should I, okay, and then just to answer your second one, where should I start? You have been trading for 2 years, so approach it like that. Approach it from the fact that you're starting over, but you have been trading for 2 years. What strategy are you using to trade, and just stick to that strategy. Write out some very specific rules for yourself. Only risk 1% ever. Don't ever risk more than 3%, meaning you cannot have more than 3 trades open. quite honestly, you should only ever have 2 trades open tops if you're not profitable. You probably just only have 1 open. And if you're really truly serious about this and you want to start over, I would say only trade the top 10 market cap coins or just Bitcoin and ETH until your strategy is profitable on there. Like, quite honestly. Don't trade small caps, don't trade mid caps. You're going to get varied results. You're going to get extreme volatility. Your strategy that works on there might just get blown out, giving you false positives because they're just low liquidity coins. So start with either just Bitcoin and Ethereum or trade only the top 10 market cap coins, and then just use one single strategy. Keep it to 1% risk. That's it. Only ever risking 2% because you're in 2 trades tops, and journal every trade, just like I showed you, and just how Mello's showing you. I suggest using what Mello sent because it's going to be able to like amalgamate all of the data of what you're saying and stuff, and like feed it back to you and tell you about your psychology and ask you questions, and like you can go so deep with it. So I suggest using what Mello sent for journaling, and have the discipline to actually journal every trade, or quite simply, you don't want it enough. But those are some ways that I would say kind of pop down how to like restart. For somebody new to the Woodsbot, is that something you can use on your phone or new desktop? Yeah, 100%. You can use it on your phone. So you'll see it all the same here. And for those who are new, I just want to highlight something here. So I have, for anyone who's new, I am doing this stream right now, but I have tons and tons of education for someone who's brand new to come in and understand what every single bot is and how they work. Different specific bot strategies where you can take any one of these and literally apply it to your day-to-day trading and make money with videos, links to the bots themselves. I've built out, how to build a daily bias with Woodsbot, how to scalp with Woodsbot, how to swing trade, how to trade ranging conditions, how to trade trending conditions, trade in low volume conditions, all with the bots themselves that you can use. And on top of that, I also have built out the education in the indicator showing you specific strategies with videos. So tons and tons of education. And even like in the education, I've done master classes where specific strategies, these are built out into like hour and a half videos. You can really divulge yourself into the education I've built out here, and that Cypress has helped me film and edit and stuff, and become proficient even just using one of these strategies every single day within this Discord. So there is a ton of stuff on top of that. Just to highlight the other stuff you can do is we have all of our previous streams that are just like this are recorded here with the content of each one. So you can go back and you can look, this one was with Woods, these are the master classes. We have ones where people come up and we'll share how they use Woodsbot. You can go over all of this on top of like even the YouTube. So just to highlight kind of like you could come into Woodsbot with almost zero knowledge of anything here and put yourself into a position to study for 5 to 10 hours and have a profitable strategy, really. Like, yeah, have a good day, Kirby, bro. Good to have you here. Appreciate you as always. Brother, yeah, of course it's on. Hope those answered your questions. Are the bot indicators? No, so the bots, this is what they look like in the Discord. Do those quick for people. So we have a number of different bots that are going to give you different data, and it's like you can go to the YouTube, you can look at all of that education stuff that I showed you to understand how each of these work, but this will show you coins that are overbought or oversold. Every close of this will show you which ones have divergences. We have Monday range bots, we have like RSI heat map bots showing you snapshots of the market. We have bots that'll show you top volume coins, show you the highest and lowest funding coins in the market. We have Monday range. It'll show you the coins that sweep Monday's high or low. You can look at the top gainers or losers on a number of time frames. So you get all access to all these bots as well as like the indicator that I was showing you, giving you these levels, gives you divergences as well on all the time frames, just with the switch of a button. You get access to all of that. All right, guys, it's been a great stream. Been on for about an hour and 20 minutes. I think this is very valuable, very useful information. Again, I appreciate all of you asking questions and contributing to this. I think this was a really good chat, and this will be a great one for people to go back, and watch over and, just review things. And as always, I'm always available in the chats. If you want to talk about bot trades, you want to talk about psychology in there, anything at all, always feel free to ping me or any of the mods. Happy to help you guys. So went so in on this one, I'm literally losing my voice. Yeah, appreciate you guys, man. Always. All right, guys. I hope you guys all have a good day and a good weekend. Don't overtrade. Conditions are pretty shit right now, so take things slow. Take some time, back test, review the education in Woodsbot. Go look in that accountability mirror and journal just what's going on, what are some issues you're having. Take those things too and talk to AI. That's been one of the biggest unlocks for me is like take your raw psychology and your emotions you feel in trading, talk to chat, talk to Claude, talk to whatever LLM you use. You'll get so much valuable information for that. This is another thing that I can suggest you guys do. But yeah, have a good day, guys. Have a good weekend. Appreciate you all, and I will see you in the chat.